record-setting speech 23 of 23 entitled Presence. Please join me in welcoming Franco.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. All right, we started. Perfect. So as Tony mentioned, undertaking this challenge in support of the Canadian Cancer Society. It was a different spin on a fearless challenge. And I'm going to do my best to maintain my composure here. So if you are going to shed any tears, look away. Just look away. It's not going to help. So I want to go a little off script today. Most of the speeches talked about, the challenges that I had overcome in undertaking this event. Can everyone hear me okay? And it's been a year and a half, pretty much, in planning this attempt. And so I talked a lot about the ways, unorthodox ways that I got around some of the challenges and fears that I face in public speaking. But I want to do a little bit different, do this one a little bit differently. And I'll start off with a quote that says, "Be present, because it's the only moment that matters." As I said, it's going off a little script of the rest of the 22 speeches. And, talking about, in the previous speeches, I've talked about taking the first step, staying in motion, persistence, being an underdog, challenging my comfort zone, the value of fear, the value of purpose, the value of an experience, getting back into the future. Just to name a few, I can't remember the rest. And I want to talk about, to add further potential embarrassment to my father, I talk about my dad, the person who motivated me to undertake this event. I think we should give my dad a little round of applause. What do you think? Sorry, Paul, I had to do that. And it's entitled Presence because that's one of the most important lessons I learned from my dad. It's how to be present. I also want to talk about how this sense of presence helps me to remember all of those who have battled cancer are no longer with us today. And to which I also dedicate this attempt, this event. For examples of presence. My dad's if you know my father, he's a man of few words. And I learned more about, being a good father from my dad, not from what he said, from what he didn't say, things he did. Growing up as a kid, and despite my brother's opinions, I was one of the first to get up in the morning. Believe it or not. And I was probably, my daughter's age, 4 or 5, and we're getting out with my dad because he'd get up early to go to work. I have a hearty breakfast of coffee and bread. Good old school Italian breakfast. I remember just spending those times I remember my dad just being my dad. So brothers, we all grew up playing soccer, and in high school as well as outside of high school. But I remember in high school, we went to high school in Bowmanville, which means that a lot of the schools that we played were further east, Coburg, Port Hope, Campbellford, far outside of where we lived. And he was there. You know, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on a work day, we were playing out, and I look up and I see my dad's truck in the parking lot. And we were playing soccer, rep soccer, and my father was not one of those typical fathers who were, calling out at us and yelling instructions and so on. Quite the opposite. To see him off our position, when we see him off my position wherever I was playing, quietly standing off to the sidelines, arms crossed, maybe the odd point here or there. But he was there. He wasn't saying a lot, but he was there. We knew he was there. And I talked about this in one of the earlier speeches. In 1987, my father took us through Italy. And we go spend summers in Italy with our families. And one time he decided to take us all through Italy. Florence, Pisa, Rome, Pompeii, Capri, and everywhere in between. And I think it was in between Capri and on a boat ride to Capri, I had my headphones on. I think I was listening to a License to Ill cassette, to Beastie Boys. And I don't know why I remember this point. I remember looking back and saying, take a look around. You're never going to be here again. And it sounds crazy, but I never forgot that moment, to be present, to take a look around, lift your head up once in a while. And I talked about that I also wanted to dedicate this speech to those who are no longer with us, who have battled cancer and who aren't here with us today. And how this notion of presence applies to them. And there's a quote that says, if your presence doesn't make an impact, then your absence won't make a difference. And one of the most difficult things that I've found when you have children is that you have a regret of the people that they never got a chance to meet, people that have impacted your life. You never get a chance to meet those people. And it bothered me for a long time. And in thinking about presence, I realized I actually missed the point. I discovered the best way to carry the memories of those people who have gone before us is to share the one thing that we benefited most from them, from knowing them. And it's one simple little thing. And I'm sure it's not original, but it's a good reminder. And that is to imitate their best qualities. Imitating their best qualities. People that have gone before us, we think of their best qualities, and we think of the things that we remember most of them in a positive light. And so, that is the gift that we've got to share with others. Share with our children, share with our family members, share with our friends, our co-workers. Imitating the best qualities of those people that inspired us. The goals for the event are to support my dad, support the Canadian Cancer Society, maybe get a world record. More so inspire others to take on something way out of left field and challenge your own fears and challenges. In November of 2014, there was a spark that was lit inside my heart. And that spark led to all of you and countless others throughout the day sharing and being with me in this adventure. On one hand, it shows how cancer has touched so many people. On the other hand, it shows how strangers can come together to fight against a common cause. So I want to thank, firstly, all of the clubs, Newcastle Lions, the Bowmanville Lions, the Bowmanville Rotary, the Curtis Rotary, the Curtis Lions, it's okay, the Moose Lodge, the Oshawa North Lions, the Whitby Toastmasters, the Lunchtime Talkers Toastmasters, the Mount Zion Lodge in Brooklyn, the Oshawa Toastmasters, the UIT Rotaract Club, the Oshawa Rotary Parkwood, of course, many of you, the Oshawa West Lions. I also want to thank the Navy Club of Oshawa, and of course, the Italian Recreational Cultural Club. I also have to thank the audiences, all the people that have come out, and yourselves. Thank you for coming out to sharing this event. I think you should give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. Thank you. All those who have pledged support to the Canadian Cancer Society under this event, corporate sponsors, volunteers. Couldn't have done any of this without any of my co-workers, my volunteers who show up at it really means a lot to have you here helping me with this event. You didn't have to do any of that, and you did, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Sorry, that's my stomach growling. My family, their support and their encouragement. Parents, their unwavering confidence since day one. My kids for being the reason why I get up in the morning. Their love is my fuel. It keeps me going. And their presence inspires me to be the best father I can be as well. So I want to thank them as well. My wife Ashley, what can I say? To undertake an event to be one of 4 billion really requires a wife to have one of a trillion. So I want to please thank my wife as well. I know, my father would have been 61 the other day and lost his battle with cancer. And this event was much for your father as it was my father. I know he was present here today. So I love you. Thank you. I want to leave you with that final thought, and then we can relax. And that is this: to be present, period, is the only moment that matters. Thanks very much.